Let's rank all 151 Gen 1 Pokemon, because no one has ever done that before, right? Right. Bulbasaur, the first starter Pokemon, grass type. I always felt like no one really liked him. I liked him because of that. A tier. Ivysaur's okay. I think all the starter Pokemon's middle evolution really suffers, kind of like they're just going through puberty and they're not quite there yet. Ivysaur's a B tier. Venusaur, he's a big guy. Yeah, I didn't really like Venusaur. B tier though. I'm going to contradict myself a little bit. Charmander is awesome. I think going off of the anime with the flame at the end of his tail kind of dimming as he's low on health, I think that's a really cool touch, so Charmander's an S tier. Charmeleon again falls into the bracket of Ivysaur and the other middle evolutions where it's just like angry teenager. B tier? Everyone loves Charizard. Everyone thinks he's S tier. I don't know. I don't know why. I just never really bought into it as much, I guess. I'm gonna put Charizard I'm gonna give him an A tier at least. Squirtle's cute as fuck. Squirtle's nice. And Squirtle's getting an A tier. Wartortle? Who the fuck cares about Wartortle? I don't know. C tier. Blastoise is the best of the 3 starter evolutions. Just cool as fuck, right? Look, it's a tank tortoise. He's got fucking cannons. Oh, yeah. S tier. Easy. Caterpie is just a caterpillar. Annoying as fuck in the games. D. Metapod's funny because all he can do is harden, and I think that's hilarious. So he's gonna get at least a C. Butterfree's fine. Again, the anime's doing a lot of heavy lifting for Butterfree, so C tier. Weedle's a dumb fuck, but I like his big stupid nose, so C tier. Kakuna is just a less interesting Metapod. It's just annoying. It hardens as well, but Metapod done that before you, man. Just D tier. Beedrill is cooler than Butterfree. Look at it. Like, imagine you've seen this out in the open. This big fucking bee with like drills in its hands. Yeah, definitely an A tier. Pidgey is a bird, and that's about it. D tier. Pidgeotto is arguably better than its next evolution. I like Pidgeotto. I think he looks quite cool. B tier. And Pidgeot, as I said, kind of loses that a bit, so I'm just going to go straight for a C tier. Rattata's a rat. D tier. Raticate's not much better, but it's got a bit more personality. It's like rat, isn't it? C tier. Spearow is again a bird, but it's got a little bit more attitude than Pidgey, so C tier. Spearow looks like a bit of a badass, and I do quite like that. B tier. Ekans. Snake backwards. Very interesting. It is just a snake. C tier. Arbok's really cool though. Arbok's a good step up, and I think again a lot of heavy lifting's been done by the anime. But I'm gonna give Arbok a B. Pikachu, I mean, come on, it's the mascot. It's a fucking S tier, you know, it's the best. It's cute as shit. It's iconic. Everyone knows who it is around the world. Easiest S tier there is. Raichu's just a chubby fuck and loses the magic of Pikachu, so for that, it's a C tier. Sandshrew is fine, and that's it. D tier. Sandslash is a bit better because it at least has the claws, but C? Nidoran is very nondescript. It's just a little mousy, hamstery thing. D. Nidorina again is very nothing. D as well. Nidoqueen's a badass though, and I've always wondered, are the breastplates that come around, they look like they hang? I don't know, is that weird? Nidoqueen's a B. Nidoran, the purple one, I guess, D tier as well. Nidorino's a bit better because it's got a bit of personality, I think, and it looks a bit more pissed off, and that just gets you points, so I'm going to give Nidorino a B. Nidoking's a big scary fucker, and I love that. In the video games, like, once you had a Nidoking, you were basically indestructible, so I think Nidoking, S tier. Clefairy's cute and has that cool backstory with Mount Moon and everything, and I do like that. A tier? Clefable loses the magic of Clefairy, so for that it goes straight to a C tier. Vulpix is fine. I think there's better fire Pokemon, but it's not the worst. It's quite cute. It's got that little ginger fringe. B. Ninetales is a lot cooler. It's a lot more extravagant, and it's really out there. But again, I'm not going to give it higher than a B tier. Jigglypuff's S tier, don't really need to say much, it's just awesome, sings and it puts you to sleep, the song is incredibly catchy, yeah, S tier all the way. Wigglytuff's just rubbish in comparison, it really falls flat, D tier. Zubat's a piece of shit, every encounter in every cave in every game is a fucking Zubat, D. Golbat's a bit better with the big open mouth, but still, C tier. Oddish is fine because he looks so happy, but C tier, he's just a planet, isn't he? Gloom's a creepy looking fucker with a drool and it looks like it would smell like shit. I don't know. B tier. Vileplume loses the personality that Gloom brought to the character, so I'm gonna drop it to C tier. Paris is just a lobster with fucking mushrooms on it. I don't like lobster and I don't like mushrooms. D tier. Parasect is a bit more interesting because it looks like the mushroom's taking over and it's got those dead eyes, so it gets a little bit better, but I'm gonna give it a C. Venonat's quite nice, quite cute, really nice design. I like the purple eyes. Looks like there should be a crossover with Butterfree actually. Anyway, B tier for Venonat. Venomoth's just a moth. D tier. Diglett is just a little nipple in the ground. Fucking A, man, honestly. A tier. Hilarious. Dugtrio's just 3 Diglets, which is, I guess, is fine, I guess. Drops down. B tier. Meowth's S tier. Easy. Again, same as Pikachu. It's iconic within the series. A part of Team Rocket. The anime, again, is doing a lot of heavy lifting for it, but it's S tier. Come on, it's Meowth. Persian's D. It's just a cat. Just a cat. Boring as shit. Psyduck is S tier. Again, I know the anime is doing a lot of heavy lifting, but fuck it, it's my tier list and I love Psyduck, that stupid kind of glacial look he has, I love it, S tier. And Golduck loses a lot of that personality for me, it kind of goes a bit more tedious, a bit more cool hipster teenager vibe, and I don't like that as much, so it gets a C tier. Mankey is okay, kind of cool, but nothing more, nothing less. It's a C tier. Primeape is a bit cooler because he's got the big boxing mitt hands and he's got the bracelets and anklets, so I'm going to give him a B tier. Growlithe's awesome. I mentioned before with Vulpix that there are better fire Pokemon, and this is what I was meaning. Growlithe is amazing. A. But Arcanine is better, and Arcanine is an S tier. This is fucking glorious. It's a glorious looking Pokemon, isn't it? You just want one of these when you're in the game. They're just class. Easy. Poliwag's just weird, looks like it's got a butthole for a mouth, so I'm going to give it a D tier. Poliwhirl is a step up from Poliwag, I'll give it that, but apart from the kind of fists it has, it's nothing more than a C. Poliwrath's a bit better because he looks angry, but it doesn't really like step up too much from Poliwhirl, I guess, so I'm just going to keep it as a C. Abra's a dick, and every time in the game when I wanted to catch him, he would just teleport and disappear, so he's getting a D. Kadabra's a bit better because he has the spoons, and I do quite like that. It's a nice design touch, but for me, just a B tier. Alakazam is a little bit better, but not enough. I like the kind of swinging mustache. He's got the 2 spoons, but again, for me, it's just a B tier. It's not that interesting. Machop, just a little fighting dude. I don't know. D. Machoke is just Machop all grown up, so I'm gonna just stick with a D tier. Now, Machamp's cool. I like Machamp. I liked how you had to trade Machoke in the video games to actually get him to evolve, which kind of adds to the mystique of him. I like the forearms, the kind of cool design, pro wrestler almost. Kind of like Machoke, but just 10 times better, so I'm going to give Machamp an A tier. Bellsprout's fucking awesome, and Bellsprout's an S tier, and I'll die on this hill. In the anime, it just defeats Pikachu so handily. It's amazing. Easy S tier. Weepinbell looks like it's had Botox and lip surgery, and not for me at all. I don't even, the photo looks like it's about to do something. D tier. Victreebell's a little bit better, I guess. It's okay, but I'll give it a C. Tentacool is fine, just a bit normal, isn't it? A bit bland. D tier. Tentacruel is a busy design, but it's better than Tentacool. I like how it's now got this like beak to it. It adds to it a lot, I think. So I'm gonna give it a C tier. Geodude, just floating rock, man. Quite like it though. C tier. Graveler's okay. I was gonna say a bit better, but not really. Just fine. I think I'll just stick with C tier for Graveler. I like Golem, just a big rock ball, a big boulder that Indiana Jones would be afraid of. I'm giving Golem an A. Ponyta is a fire horse, and I think that's a really cool design idea, so I think it gets an A. Rapidash loses that a bit, I think. It's not as cool, and it's not really built on as much as Ponyta. It's fine. I'm going to put it as a C tier. Slowpoke's funny. I really like Slowpoke. Just a big, dumb doofus. B tier. Slowbro is equally as fun and as goofy, and I like how he's now got the big clam fucker that bites on the tail to actually make him evolve. That's quite cool, and I really got a cool backstory to it, but I'm going to stick, I think, B. Magnemite's just a floating magnet thing. C. Magneton is just 3 Magnetites fucking, I don't know, D. Farfetch'd is cool. Farfetch'd's a really cool Pokemon. The leak, the backstory about like being part of Soup or something, I believe. I think that's really cool. It does a lot of heavy lifting for it. I do really like Farfetch'd. It gets an A. Doduo is just a 2-headed bird. D. Dodrio I'll give a C to, purely because of the episode in the anime where they race. I really like that. I really think that's quite cool. Does a lot of heavy lifting. C tier for Dodrio. Steel is a seal. D. Dugong's a bit better, but who the fuck really cares? It's just like a slightly happier seal. I don't know. C. Grimer's gross, but I quite like it. I think it's a really funny design. B tier. And Muck's just an even bigger, badder, and uglier version of Grimer, and he's getting an A tier because it's just funny as well. Shellder is saved by the tongue sticking out. That does a lot of heavy lifting for it, so I think it probably deserves B tier. Cloyster's a badass. I like Cloyster a lot. I like how it's really almost like an armoured shell, that kind of blackened face, you don't see what's going on, it just looks like a tank. A tier for Cloyster. Gastly's cool. The ghost Pokemon tend to be cooler in my opinion. I like Gastly. I think its next evolutions are better, but Gastly's a B tier. Haunter, I think, goes straight into A. It just fits the vibe of ghost Pokemon with the kind of floating hands and the floating head, and it just looks kind of evil and ghostly. Easy. Gengar's S tier. Simple. You know, imagine seeing that little fucker coming towards you, you know, just a really great design, really built on Gastly and Haunter, a really good Pokemon, easily S tier. Onix is just the Pokemon, isn't he? He was Brock's Pokemon in the anime, is the kind of main big bad Pokemon you come up against in the gyms, in the first gym anyway. But for that, I'm going to give him a B tier. Drowsy looks like the kind of Pokemon you would maybe see at Woodstock or a music festival getting high, so I don't know, C tier. Hypno is a little bit better because he's got the little dangly thing, so B tier. Krabby's a crab. I quite like that. I'm going to give Krabby a B tier. Kingler's even better because he's just a bigger fucking crab and he looks a bit more dangerous for the big pincer fuckers, so I'll stick with B tier. Voltorb's just a pissed off Pokeball by the looks of it who likes to explode and self-destruct, but I like that. Single track mind, B tier. Electrode's just another shit-eating motherfucker, and I quite like that as well. Doesn't add too much to Voltorb, just to switch the colours around, but I kind of appreciate that, so I'm going to give Voltorb a C. Execute's just eggs, and I've always hated them. I think they look stupid, just a couple of cracked eggs. It's weird. B tier. Executor's a little bit better, you know, he adds to Execute and makes it, I don't know, just makes it better, I guess. B tier. Cubone's cool with the backstory where the skull comes from, it carries the bone. I really like that, so I think Cubone does slot into A tier. Marowak doesn't really build on Cubone for me, it just stays the same and just looks a little bit more adult, so I'm going to drop that to B. Hitmonlee's fine, a kind of solely kicking Pokemon's cool. I like the kind of Hitmonlee, you know, Bruce Lee kind of mix, that's kind of funny I guess, but it's a B tier. Hitmonchan, Jackie Chan I guess, is better. I like it better, it's just a cooler Pokemon, so A tier. I like the kind of mix, just cooler. Lickitung's a creepy looking fucker, but I quite like it with the big tongue sticking out, and it's just quite funny, isn't it? But apart from that, it's just a B tier, isn't it? Koffing's just a big stupid Pokemon, but I kind of like him. I kind of like him with the kind of skull and crossbones. B. And Weezing's just a more disgusting Koffing. I quite like him as well. Doesn't really add much as two of them joined together, so I'm going to stick with B. Rhyhorn's just a big armoured animal looking fucker, so it doesn't do much for me at all, I'll be honest with you. C tier. Rhydon is cooler, but kinda just looks like a kind of ground version of Nidoking and Nidoqueen, so I'm just gonna give it a B tier. Chansey is fine, but because in the anime it helps Nurse Joy in the Pokemon Centers, it helps it a lot, so I'll just give it a C tier. I've got a soft spot for Tangela. I've got no idea why. I always liked this Pokemon. I just like the kind of the cool design, the kind of noodly blue shit, the little feet that are sitting out in the eyes, you don't see what's going on in there. I'm gonna give Tangela an A. Kangaskhan's cool, it's got a cool story when it's got the kind of little one in the pouch, but again, it's like the kind of the Rhydon, Nidoking, Nidoqueen kind of dilemma. Is it adding much? I don't think so, so I'm gonna give it a C. Horsey is a seahorse, not much else to be said, it's a fucking D. Seadra's a bit better because it gives a bit more attitude, and I like that, but it's not doing much more for me, so I'm just gonna give it a C. Goldeen is just a fish, D. Seaking is just a fish, also a D. Staryu's cool, and again, the anime might be doing a lot of heavy lifting for me here. I like it, it's just a big fucking star, and it just goes, hacha! You know, it's quite funny, I like that. I'm gonna give Staryu an A. Starmie doesn't build on Staryu, and I don't think it's any better, so I'm gonna drop it down to a B. Mr. Mime is a creepy clown mime looking fucker. Helps Ash's mum in Pallet Town a little bit, I don't know. He's okay. It's not a strange looking Pokemon, it's quite interesting to look at, so I'm going to give him a B. Scyther is cool as fuck. I'm going to give Scyther an S tier. Scyther's one of the standalone Pokemons where there's no evolution before or after, at least not in Gen 1, and I think when you find a Scyther, at least in the game, it just looks cool and you're like, that's coming to my team. Easy S tier. Jynx is problematic, I would say. I'm going to just go C tier because I don't hate it and it's at least interesting, but I think they have taken steps to rectify how Jynx looks. Electabuzz is fine. Electabuzz is funny, especially if you've seen this clip. But I mean, he's not as good as Scyther, I don't think, so I'm going to give Electabuzz a B tier. As I've grown older, Magmar's not been as interesting to me, but in the anime, I used to love Magmar. I loved the episode where he fought with Pikachu and then Charizard, and for that reason, controversially, I'm going to give Magmar an S tier. And I know Magmar looks like he has like butts on his head, I don't care. S tier. Pinsir's a scary looking fuck, isn't he? Imagine you seen this thing in the Safari Zone in real life. It's got the fucking pincers, it's got the pincery looking teeth. It looks like an armoured bug, and I think that's really cool. I don't think it's as cool as Scyther. Scyther just looks cooler to me, but Pinsir is A tier. Tauros is a bull. It's got 3 tails, which makes it kind of interesting, I guess, but it's a D tier. Magikarp is an S tier, and I don't care what anyone fucking says. Like, people tend to prefer the evolution of Magikarp because it's like this amazing, cool step up, but Magikarp is just fucking better. It's got so much personality. The video games are doing a lot of heavy lifting here, so's the anime, but Magikarp's S tier, easy. Yes, Gyarados is cool. He is a cool Pokemon, definitely, but for me, it's just an A tier. Overused, overhyped, not for me. Lapras is kind of the same. It's fine, you know, it's okay. I mean, it is the Pokemon that surfs you around, like, in the Pokemon games, because no matter what water Pokemon you're using, it's always kind of defaults to look like a Lapras during the surf animation, so that's cool. B tier. Ditto's power is cooler than itself. I do quite like it's just an amorphous pink blob with this just like blank eyes, I guess. It's a C tier. Eevee is okay. I think the concept and idea of Eevee is better than what it actually is. It is cute. Does it deserve to be one of those Pokemon that's like one of the mascots along with Pikachu? No, it just doesn't. So for me, Eevee is a B tier. Vaporeon's nice. I like Vaporeon. I like the kind of water, the gills. I think it looks like quite mermaid-like, and I do think that is cool, but for me, it's just a B tier. Jolteon is just a electric dog, isn't it? They're really just like, look at me, spiky electric. I don't know. Again, just sticking with B here. I like Flareon. I don't know why. I don't know why I have a leaning towards Flareon as opposed to the other ones. I think in the later gens, the kind of next step evolutions for Eevee are better than these 3. But Flareon, I think, is the best of them all. So I'll give Flareon an A. Porygon, I think, gets a bad rap. I quite like how you can win him at a casino in the games. I think that's quite cool. I think because he's quite an individualistic like Pokemon, there's no other Pokemon that is like Porygon, and for that I'm going to give it an A. Omanyte, I never really cared for the fossil Pokemon, just cards on the table, it's fine, it looks a bit goofy with look at me. C. Omastar, it looks a little bit more ominous because he looks a bit more angry, but I'm going to stick with a C. Kabuto's got a little bit more going for it, it's a bit freakier looking, those red eyes kind of draw you in. It's a bit cooler, I'll go for a B tier for Kabuto. Kabutops is nice. It is a cool design, it kind of looks like you're mixed between Pinsir and Scyther. If those two had a baby, this is what would come out. So I'm going to give Kabutops a B. Aerodactyl, I don't really care about, it's a D tier, it's just boring, like, it's just a pterodactyl, but it's Aerodactyl because it flies. Snorlax is an S tier, easy. Look at this big, adorable, plushy, sleepy motherfucker, you know, you just want to give him a big hug. Oh yeah, easy S. Articuno's fine. Articuno's fine, the first of the legendary birds. I guess the Mystique is cooler than the actual Pokemon to me, I don't know. B tier? Zapdos is like, I'm going to contradict myself a little with Zapdos because what I said about Jolteon, but Zapdos is cool, but I'm going to stick with a B. I like Moltres. Maybe I've got a leaning towards fire Pokemon, I'm not sure, but Moltres is cool. Moltres is the A tier of the three. Dratini's fine and okay. I think knowing what comes after Dratini really helps it, so I'm going to give Dratini a C. Dragonair looks more regal, more serene and elegant, so I think it gets a B. Dragonite is a big goofy fucker and I really like how they switched it. I think they could have made Dragonite look angry or more Godzilla-esque, and the fact that they made him like a big goofy waving fucker, I think that really does a lot. I don't know why, I think it makes him funner. I don't know, I like him. A tier. Mewtwo is really cool. And I know a lot of people really like Mewtwo. I don't love him. I think he's just okay. I like the story how he's kind of made in a lab and he's like the kind of villain Pokemon, but for me that's where it ends, so A tier. I like Mew. I like Mew better than Mewtwo, and I think Mew is an S tier because of the mystique of when you played the original Pokemon games, there was the van that sat next to the SS Anne, and when you sailed across to it, you thought Mew was under the van. It wasn't. Shock horror, surprise, spoiler alert, you know, but I like that. Yeah, Mew is an S tier, and yeah, I just liked it. And that's Pokemon Gen 1 ranked. I'm sure you disagreed with every single one of those, but I don't know, it's my tier list I guess. Let me know in the comments below. See you later, bye.